Hello, it's Patty from Natural Law Health, and I'm creating this video today because I would like to address some comments that were made on a video that I had put out called Mind Virus. The comments that I'm addressing were not from my YouTube channel, but they were from my LBRY channel. And when you get multiple comments that are of the same topic, I think that's something to address, to look at. And I do value the comments that people make under my videos. I read them, and I'm learning from those, and I am open to discussion about those. But I want to explain myself because I think I was kind of misunderstood the way that these comments were put forth. So the comment was, or the multiple comments, the two comments in particular, were that humans are not animals. And I believe I do say in that video that humans are animals. Well, from a biological sense, we are made up of the same types of cells as animals. I am a biologist in my academic and professional life. My undergraduate degree is in biology. My graduate degree is in biochemistry, and then I went to medical school. So I've done a lot of orthodox study in biology. And don't get me wrong, I have a strong spiritual understanding that I've probably developed a little bit later in my life after having studied biological life for so many years. But with that said, I typically say things out of habit when I'm talking about animals and animal cells. So often, in my 20 years as a college professor teaching biological sciences, anatomy, physiology, general biology, I do point out to my students that humans and other animals were made up of the same types of cells. And they call these animal cells. So animal cells are different than plant cells. Plant cells have a fibrous cell wall outside of their phospholipid bilayer, their cell membrane. Animal cells do not have a cell wall. Plant cells have organelles called chloroplasts, yet animal cells do not have a chloroplast. And it's the chloroplast that makes the green parts of the plant green. And it's the chloroplast that, takes in carbon dioxide to produce sugars like glucose and produces oxygen. So animals can breathe that oxygen. So there are some distinct differences morphologically and physiologically between animals and plants. And humans, we are more like the animals because we have animal cells. Now, with that said, let's talk a little bit more about the spiritual or esoteric aspect of this question, because I really think that the commenters were upset that maybe I didn't bring that up, or maybe I was ignoring that. And that's not the case. I'm not ignorant of that. I'm going to address it right now. So I one of the people that I think explains things in a way that makes sense to me and I align with is Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner talks about the fourfold human being, meaning that we have 4 levels to our body. We have the physical body, which, that's pretty easy. We all can see each other. So the physical body is something that we share with the animals and the plants, actually. After the physical body, there is what is called the formative body, sometimes referred to as the etheric body. And this gives shape to the physical form. Outside of the etheric body, we have the astral body, the sensitivity body. This is where we can feel. Now, this is where animals differ from plants. So plants don't have an astral body, according to Steiner. Humans and animals do. So again, with the animals, we share the physical body, the formative body, which is the etheric body, and the astral or sensitivity body. So the physical body, again, is shared with plants, animals, humans, and the formative body is shared with plants, animals, and humans. The sensitivity or the astral body we find in animals and humans, but not in plants, according to Steiner. Now, where the humans differ from the animals is in the ego or the I, the awareness of oneself. So that is where humans differ from animals, right? So we don't have, our animals don't have that self-awareness. Steiner also explains that, animals, he calls them having a kind of a soul, collective consciousness, or a kind of more of a species level of their consciousness, as opposed to a self-I awareness, the aware being aware of themselves. And I just want to point out that I have a profound respect for animals. I think these souls, whether they're collective or individual, however we want to, look at that. Steiner's view, again, he looks more at the collective view of the animals, whereas each individual human is its own I, its own self-aware being. If we look at animals, to some extent, they're very much in the moment, and they have a certain essence about themselves. So they're very, like I said, in the moment. They aren't doing a lot of thinking. So, that's what we tend to do with our I awareness, is that we overthink, and that gets us in trouble. Although we can use that awareness for more beautiful, profound ways of being. The ability to think, and imagine what could be, and to create. We have that creative capacity, whereas maybe the animals do not have that. And I definitely can, witness that and see that and notice that main difference between humans and animals. So when I say that we are animals, it is in the physical form, in the etheric form, and in the astral form, but not in the self-aware I. That is something that is unique to human beings. And it's kind of interesting, the animals being the collective soul as described by Steiner. Isn't that kind of what the powers that should not be are attempting to do with the programming through the news, the other forms of propaganda? They're trying to brainwash humanity to be a collective, and the individual is being very much denounced. The individual, it's being programmed to most humans that we shouldn't support the individual. We should only do what's best for the whole. And that's why they want to jab everybody and inject them with poison. And it's all poison, because even if you take out the antigenic or even nuclear genetic information that's in this current jab, if you take all of that out, the adjuvants, which are used to make the immune response more powerful, those by themselves, those adjuvants, those chemicals, like, polysorbate 80, thimerosal was used in the past for like many vaccines, like the MMR. These adjuvants by themselves, again, whatever antigen or messenger RNA removed, the adjuvants by themselves are quite dangerous. And how pharmaceutical companies get away with this, and I didn't mean to turn this into a vaccine discussion, but I think it's kind of appropriate here. I know I read a book called, it was about the Gardasil vaccine. And when the pharmaceutical companies were trying to, make lots of money by scaring young girls and their parents to take this vaccine to prevent them from a cancer it's so very rare to die from this cancer, cervical cancer. And they're scaring these young women, and there were so many adverse events. But when they were testing it, they tested the mixture of the adjuvants by itself as the control. And then what they were looking at was the reaction from the antigenic component in the adjuvant mixture. And they saw, equal amounts of negative events in both groups. And when both groups are the same, they're like, well, it's the same as the control, so it passed study. It passed the test, right? Had they done it in a true control of a saline solution, where you're talking about just, 0.9% salt mixed in water, which is what we should have tested it with, you would have noticed these adverse events, okay? So they're doing a lot of things to collectivize humanity. making us kind of in essence like the animals, that collective group, right? And when you compare the collective humanity to the animals, in my opinion, the animals are a little bit more conscious, aren't they? Because they're in the moment. They're not overthinking. The collective humanity that's overthinking, not using their self-aware eye, but being drawn into the groupthink and basically blindly following the dictates of the groupthink or the orders of the powers that control the groupthink. That's a little bit more dangerous. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that in this video. I hope this makes sense to those of you that did bring that up in that last video or in my video on mind virus. Again, I appreciate your comments. I really do. And when I do get comments like that, especially when 2 or more people make the same comment, I want to address it. So thank you for watching my videos. I wish you all the best, and I appreciate the discussions that you all include in the comments. Take care. Bye.